Yeah, someone better have notes, because it's not me.
Not me. I know there's a man. He might be a zebra.
He's got cool
He
hair.
fights the crab.
Oh, that crab is...
Whoa. The second iteration of the crab was pretty creepy.
He's in the doorway.
That part
is horrifying.
I was like, even though they made it really dramatic, but...
Alright, I'll go ahead and start this. Striping Evil. Welcome to I Hope You Suffer.
I really thought you were going to open it up with, my cock itches. Welcome to I Hope You Suffer.
Oh my god.
That is the best dude in the movie.
Oh my gosh.
This is episode 137 of I Hope You Suffer. My name is Zebra Nurse.
No, I'll be Zebra Queen.
Oh no, wait, I'm owner of Candy Shop.
I'm Doorway Crab. I don't know.
Doorway crab. Oh man.
Katie's Zebra Nurse then.
Yeah.
And
Katie's fan and crowd with camera.
Yes, that's me.
This week we are joined by Guy with Crabs, Dylan from Diary of Doom.
Whoa, hey.
Yeah. Dylan is here to talk with us about 2004's Zebraman.
Sarah listens to this.
Zebraman.
Yeah.
She's gonna be like, okay, first of all, you have crabs, and second of all, I don't have crabs, so how did you get the crabs? I'll be like, duh, there was one in the doorway.
Yeah, just under the picture of the dude in fucking crab costume.
Say you're about to get it.
Jesus.
This went off the rails extremely fast.
I actually totally forgot about this part.
In Island Claws with the door. I fucked that up. Can we like remake? Would Island Claws be better if it had the crab guy?
Yes,
movie?
Island Claws would be better if it
Absolutely.
had a crab in it.
Even a cock crab.
That fucking movie had like one crab for the last like two minutes of the movie. Yeah, Zebraman, directed by Takashi Miike.
Ayo.
My pick for the month, because I needed to see a Miike superhero movie that looks like Power Rangers. And I was fine with it. What did everybody else think about this movie? Katie, you go first.
I thought it was fine. My main issue from it stems from it being so long. Honestly, it's an hour and 55 minutes. And I feel like the beginning and like the first couple instances that happen were like really cool, and then there's like 40 minutes of like the main character interacting with like his family that's like extremely slow and boring, and then the end was just like what. So I mean, I don't know, it was totally fine.
What about you, Kit?
I thought it was good. It was not nearly as ridiculous as the plot to it is, like,
Yeah.
which feels bonkers. But whenever it's doing like a Power Rangers thing and being super absurd, I was really into it. The family drama stuff is fine. It kind of dragged the whole thing down, I think. I loved the horrible alien CG,
Yes.
and the final battle, which was so insane and perfect.
I like the family stuff was weird because it, for the most part, was completely unresolved and irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
definitely.
Anyway, Dylan, what'd you think?
Kind of along the same lines. Like, it's not a terrible movie. It's probably a lot better than most of the movies you've seen, just in terms of it being a movie. But yeah, I think it wasn't as ludicrous, and I agree that there was a stretch, like Katie said, it was like that 40 minutes, like 30 to 40 minutes, where I was kind of like, I'm just reading about like Batman on Wikipedia now, so like it kind of lost me there. And I definitely think like the family stuff was not the best because like by the end of the movie, like who fucking cares if his wife was cheating on him? You know what I mean? Like they just should have not even had any of the family be in there. You know what I mean?
Well, you could have done like a quick,
or just make it more integral.
Yeah, or just do like at the very beginning, just be like, okay, well, his family doesn't like him because they think he's a nerd or fucking whatever, and then have that be the end of it.
Like the whole plot point with the son, I think was fine, but like I don't think the rest of it needed to be in there.
Yeah,
I agree. But I mean, the stuff like the little green alien slime guys were really cute, and I really liked them. I kind of want like an action figure of one. Yeah, and I thought like the outfit. There were a lot of like kind of funny moments. Like we'll get to it. Like one in particular that I thought was just funny was like he shows up while the kids are like going crazy, and everyone just like stops and looks at him, and I'm like, yeah, if we didn't know what Spider-Man was and he just appeared, a lot of people would just be like, what the fuck? Like, call another cop.
I just got lost under the plot keywords to this movie.
Oh, no.
What do we got?
Where'd it go? There was a fucking reference to George W. Bush. Is one of them. Cape the Garment.
Yeah, you know, as opposed to
Zebraman the character. Somehow only this one and not the sequel.
Well,
that's about Zebraman the man.
Yeah.
Zebraman the man.
That's about the real Zebraman. Yeah, so like the taglines are all relatively normal for this somehow. But the reference to George W. Bush. Oh, pretending to be gay is one of them. That's great.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop #1.
Oh.
I've never seen Beverly Hills Cop 1. I've only seen Beverly Hills Cop 2.
I've seen the first two, but it was like in the 90s, and I don't remember anything about them except that somebody jams a banana into a tailpipe. And I also probably only remember that from the Clerks cartoon.
What a great takeaway from that film.
#1 for male rear nudity. Any guesses? No one's gonna get this. I don't even know why I'm asking. Does anybody know what Deadly Illusions is?
No.
Yeah.
Is it like a weird horror porno?
I don't know. It's something from this year.
Oh.
Sounds racy.
After a
sequel to Deadly
best-selling novelist suffering from writer's block. Yeah, bored. No, thank you. Yeah. So this movie was fine. I think the sequel looks like it might be better because it's got.
The sequel looks super fun.
The sequel looks.
There's a whole city of zebras.
Yeah, 2 of them.
Zebra City.
This
Zebra City? Is that like Gorilla City in DC Comics?
I hope so. That would be fucking sick.
That would be awesome.
Well, I read the premise, and I think it said something like the second one is like 15 years in the future, so like, I think so.
I mean, I should watch it. I was going to try and watch it before we recorded, and I just couldn't get to it, but it looks like at least like the little bit of the trailer I saw, like the costumes just look better and somehow worse. So I'm fully on board. Yeah,
That's how
Katie.
you make a good sequel. A better yet worse costume.
Yeah, like the costumes look better, but they're like in that, like, better in the way of like they just look more Power Rangey, I guess, rangery.
Power Rangey.
Yeah.
That's exactly why Batman
Power
Forever
Rangers.
works, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
The bat
Yeah.
suit is better, but worse.
Right. Yeah.
The nipples are the better part, by the way.
Yeah. You gotta have nips on your spandex.
Ooh.
But the Spider-Man suit with nipples, I think, would be a banger.
I think that would be a hit. Yeah.
Thor, but with no nipples because he doesn't wear a shirt, right?
Right. So if you already have them, we just take them
Or
away.
Aquaman,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
nipples.
Yeah.
A
Take them
reverse
away.
nipple
Aquaman.
situation, depending.
Aquaman lost his nipples and had to have them tattooed back on.
Make them belly buttons.
They digitally remove Jason Momoa's nipples
Like
and just
fucking
put,
dude's mustache.
CG tattoo nipples on there.
Yeah, but that would be hilarious if you could like somehow tell that they were like
Well,
if
like-
there were scenes where they were like not moving properly with the rest of his body.
Like a
Or they were
delay.
like discolored.
Yes.
Oh my god. That's
He
hit us up.
tattoos over his nipples. Oh my god, that's amazing.
I need that to happen immediately.
What if they tattooed them with like piercings? Then you could just really tell that they were fake.
Yeah, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
All right, Katie, tell us about Zebraman.
Okay, so
I have a
Essentially-
quick question.
yeah.
Has anyone seen any other movies by Takashi Miike?
Oh yeah.
I've only seen two
Yeah.
other ones.
I think I've only seen Addition and 13 Assassins.
Yeah, those are the
the
two
I've
I've seen.
Have you not seen Ichi the Killer was him, right?
Yeah, I mean I know what Ichi the Killer is. It's on Shudder. I should just watch it.
It's so good. For some reason, like as soon as I started saying it, I was doubting myself that he directed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that I think is great about him is that like he has all of these movies that are like pretty prolific horror movies, but then he's also doing like he's done a bunch of anime, like live action adaptation movies. Like he did I don't know if any of you guys know JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but that one was like kind of like a more recent famous anime, and he did like a live action for that. But then he also does like live action writing plays that like you go to the theater and you see a play, which I think is just like really not heard of. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't
Yeah.
know, I just think it's so cool.
Dude, he makes so many movies. Like it's crazy. Like how like his output and
Yeah,
like not all of them like stick the landing, I guess, but the good ones are good when they hit.
he has
I mean, Audition was like, whew.
he has 112 on Letterboxd, and that doesn't
Wow.
count. That doesn't count like TV episodes and shit he's done.
Right.
Everything I've seen by him, I like a lot. This was probably like the one I liked the least. But like
Yeah.
very
even
mainstream.
even then, I still think I gave this like a 3 out of 5. I still liked it a lot, but it was like
yeah,
it
I wouldn't rewatch it.
it didn't feel like, other than like some of the effects, like when like the one dude starts melting down later, like it felt a little less like any of the other stuff I've watched by him, because I've only really watched mostly his horror stuff except for his weird western he made.
Oh, the one with Quentin Tarantino in it.
Yeah, it's the fucking Western Django something or other. I think it was called. It's got some name like that. But yeah, Tarantino was in it. Kit, you've seen Imprint, haven't you?
Oh
I
yeah,
heard that's good.
Yeah.
I'd see that.
Imprint
heard
is
that's good.
it's fine.
Is it a little overhyped?
Well,
A
it's
little
like
bit.
it's like Masters of Horror, where none of those are really like super great,
Right.
but like, it's
I
the I think
literally
good.
I think I watched and I stopped at the episode right before that one, and then I just never watched it again.
You should watch that one just solely because it was.
I know, I
it
need
was
to go back to it.
banned for like Showtime or whoever it was refused to air it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's hard to live up to something like that.
Yeah.
You know, the television network refuses to air your stuff.
Yeah.
After so many years of that, it's hard to be as good as that reputation.
2001, he has a movie called Visitor Q, which
QAnon seeds.
I think he's QAnon. Takashi is Q.
Oh my
Oh my god, that would explain a lot, actually. It's like a very. It'd basically be like if he was just like, if he said something, he was like, "Oh, I was inspired by Hideo Kojima's Metal Gear Solid, not because it's a good story, but just because of how batshit crazy insane it is. So let's just make that happen in real life." Also, I'm friends with the guy who originally made the Chans, so I just found my way into it. That would be unreal.
I've been watching the HBO Max Q documentary.
Oh yeah, me too.
And
I think it's been pretty good.
Yeah,
so
I like it a lot. Have you watched episode 3 yet?
I'm up to date.
Where I still have to watch 4, but when they show Ron Watkins just driving around watching porn on his fucking in his car and like talking about Soapland.
The two of them are just straight, and probably more so his father, but like straight sociopaths.
Oh yeah.
Just like absolutely unhinged people, ridiculous. So anyway, we should talk about Zebraman.
Yeah,
but
go ahead,
I have been
Katie.
enjoying it. I understand it's gotten some criticism, but I didn't know some of the stuff that popped up with
I guess
in it.
I think the criticism was that everyone was like, well, this is like because the first 2 episodes they were complaining it's boring, but it takes place like in 2018 before any of this was really like mainstream shit. So like it took a while to like kick in, but by the time you get to like episode 3, it's like going full bore into like Q insanity. And the fact that when Q eventually got hacked and all of his shit taken over and his password was Matlock is pretty fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, oh my god, dude.
Which tells you it was easily a 60-year-old man or Katie.
Or both.
Dun, dun.
All right, let's talk about Zebraman.
Okay. So essentially, like before we started recording, Nathan had asked me if this was like from a manga or something. It's not. However,
I wondered that myself.
yeah. So basically, like, I know that he is like really into motorbikes. So I think that this is the reason that he sort of went this route. So this Zebraman is like not based on any actual source material. So like it wasn't actually a TV show. It wasn't actually a manga, but they took the influence, and I don't want to say spoof, but they sort of like took the idea from Kamen Rider, which is so like in Japan they have this like kind of subgenre that's called tokusatsu, which is basically like
It's like Japanese superheroes, right?
Yeah, it's like, well, it's like live action films, and normally they have a lot of special effects. So yeah, we're talking about like Giant Robo, we're talking about Kamen Rider, which I just said, Ultraman, Super Sentai, which Super Sentai is Power Rangers. But then also like the Godzilla and that kind of stuff is all looped into that too, which I think,
it's all very closely interconnected.
there's,
I
like,
never really
fantasy,
got into
sci-fi.
it. I was stuck by the big monsters, but I actually have been reading the new Ultraman manga that's supposed to be like, you know, the modern one, and it's pretty good.
Well, and I mean like that genre is like super super big in Japan, and like for whatever reason the only thing that like we only have a few iterations of it in America that's like really popular, but that's sort of like the I don't know, because like Kamen Rider, the thing that makes him different than just like Power Rangers is that he does ride around on a motorbike, and that series is kind of more like the villains and things kind of mimic, they're like robots, but they mimic bugs. So like, I think maybe that's where the crab thing came from. That's like prevalent in this one. So Zebraman, unfortunately, is not real, except for that after the movie came out, they did develop a manga based off of it. So there is a manga now. But I think it focuses more on like his family life, which, as we said, we don't really. That wasn't really our favorite parts, and
Well,
he's also just.
I feel like reading a manga, like I like the idea of like stories or like comic books where it's like they did it with like Gotham PD, where it's just like all of this insane shit happening outside of the story you're telling. So it's just like the normal people affected by this insane reality they live in. So I feel like something like that would be like interesting. It just didn't work in the movie.
Well, and I think like the thing that sets this apart too is that like for the most part, Zebraman is just like, well, we'll get to it, but for most of the movie, it's just like completely normal stuff happening aside from, we already said, aliens. Whereas in the manga, it stays just like real life. So I don't really know what they did with that. But and then apparently also Nathan found Legos, so there's that. Okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's like, is it just Zebraman that has a Lego?
Oh, I don't think it was like real. I think it's those people that make their own like custom ones.
Oh,
But
okay.
like there
Did you
was
make a
like,
crab head?
I
I want a crab head.
IMDb didn't have a tagline for this, and so I was like trying to find anything on like Google Images search from like DVD covers and shit, and I kept coming by like people that had like, I guess, made their own Zebraman Lego figures.
Oh, this is not him, Zebraman, though. This is like a Batman set.
How dare you ruin this for me?
Sorry.
Wow.
He's a zebra man.
He is Zebra Dash Man, not Zebraman.
Look,
Bat Zebraman.
I think they're all the same Zebraman. That Zebraman crossed
They might
over into
be.
Batman.
We don't know.
Honestly,
true.
I wouldn't be surprised. There's a bunch of Batman mangas that probably has Zebraman in it.
I mean,
I have the Batman manga, I think, somewhere.
Yeah, the one with Lord Deathman.
Yeah, with Lord
The
Deathman.
Greatest character.
Lord
I think-
Deathman would be an awesome metal band if it already isn't.
I think what happened is like he had some kind of accident while he was wearing the suit, and then it fused to him, and he became an actual Zebra Dash Man,
There's
and then moved on to Batman.
There's apparently currently a Batman manga going on that is the Joker accidentally turns Batman into a baby and has to raise him to become Batman again. Which sounds
What?
incredible.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like a dark version of like those cute comics where it's like Darth Vader raising baby Luke Skywalker.
I guess. I don't know. I saw something on Twitter about it, and I was like, I need this immediately.
That is wacky. I do have some of the Spider-Man manga, which is pretty good. Okay, anyways, let's start.
Yeah. I was gonna say that real quickly. Like, this is sort of like a postmodernist like take on a superhero type story, where sort of like the fictional story is part of like the movie itself. You know, it's kind of like a deconstruction. If you want to get pretentious about it, that's kind of how I viewed it. But I was like, all right, parts of it worked, parts of it didn't work. It felt like kind of like if Grant Morrison had written some weird superhero comic and was like, oh, I'm gonna do something crazy with it because I'm a crazy Scotsman.
Now, literally, all I want is McKay to adapt a Grant Morrison.
He might be the only one that can do it.
Like, just let him do, what is it, We 3 or
The
whatever
Invisibles?
it's fucking called.
Oh, with the
animals.
with the animals, the cyborg animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Katie.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Like I said, this movie is 2 hours, so I did skip some stuff because I just didn't have time for it. But essentially, this movie opens really strangely with a lady who is just like sitting in a bathhouse, like getting her hair dried, and a real life zebra walks by her, and it says, "Anything goes," which comes back, but I'm still not really sure what is like. It says "anything goes" in English. I think it goes without saying that this is a Japanese movie that is in spoken Japanese. So then we get some like news reports basically about like how weird stuff is happening. We see this like really weird like scene of what they call 10,000 bearded seals migrating up from the Tokyo Bay. But
pretty weird looking seals.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
At first,
I'm no expert.
I mean, you haven't seen Japanese seals, I guess. So there's also some kind of crime report basically saying that like women are being murdered. I mean, what else is new?
Yeah.
But we're introduced to two of our main characters. One is Oikawa, who is kind of like a gross person, and Sagawa, who is his partner, and they are both a part of some kind of defense agency, and they're essentially talking about how like they have picked up some sort of like non-human life form vibes from this area. I don't really know.
Vibes.
Yeah, it's got bad vibes that are non-human also. And basically they're like, we got to do something about it. And so these two guys are going to go like investigate essentially. So the movie sort of like flips back and forth between them and then our main character, whose name is Shinichi. And he is... And the other thing that I liked about this movie actually is that like the main character is like a middle-aged family man essentially, and like a lot of times when you see stuff like this it's like younger people, so I liked that he was like not your typical like guy. He's basically watching a very amazing
these were great
Power Ranger spoof that I think was called Alexander Caution. So the main character is like wearing like a red Power Rangers-esque suit that has like the symbol for like caution, like, you know, wet floor or don't drive down this road, whatever. And he's also fighting a Sadako-looking lady. Well, it's basically like Sadako, but like an evil villain, and she has like a stomach face.
The stomach face was so good.
Oh, like when the movie started out like this, I was like, all right.
Yeah, that was the thing. There were like just brief moments in this that I was like, this fucking rules, and it just needed more of it.
Yeah, because I had another moment where my sanity left me, because so he's like fighting Sadako, and Sadako's like, I'm your mother, and he's like, no, you're lying, and then he does some like beams at her, and then she does like flips through the air, and it cracked me up because it brought me back to last year when you know, when the Sadako thing happened, and I just was like losing my mind because it like looks like Sadako and she's just doing like backflips and shit. It was so funny.
We have to update the shirt with a stomach on it, a face stomach.
A stomach face. I think we might need a doorway crab too.
Yes.
I'm gonna get that fucking doorway crab tattooed on me. Like
so,
on my left butt cheek.
Like, okay, so yeah, he's watching this. It's pretty cool. And that's another thing. It's like they made up like two separate fictional super Sentai type things, which I think is like really cool. So, he's also using a sewing machine. We don't know what's going on with that yet. Then we see a shot of a bunch of CG quote unquote seal heads.
Oh my god, it just looked like whack-a-mole.
But it's actually just like a sea of aliens, and the aliens kind of look like if you took those like lamps from like Spencer's where you like touch them and the thing like zaps your fingers or whatever, and then like merged it with a frog. Like that's sort of what it looks like. The CG's not great, by the way.
No.
I mean, that's my other thing. It's like this came out in 2004, and like the graphics and the effects sort of reminded me of something from like the 90s.
Yeah,
like,
but
it wasn't great.
He has 112 movie credits. This was probably made in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
For $20. He just had the Zebraman suit laying
He's like,
around.
Yeah, it's his personal Zebraman costume.
Yeah, right.
Did anyone else get really nervous that he was gonna like do the thing with the sewing machine where like you put your finger through it?
Every time
I
they
was
showed
like,
it, I was like, no, please don't. I don't want to see that.
I'm like,
don't do it.
This is directed by Takashi Miike.
So yeah, and that's like, I can't wait until we get to the first part that I was like, okay, I can see where he had his hand in this, because for a while I was like, are we sure? Anyways, so it's a bunch of seals. I mean, they're not seals, they're aliens.
A bunch of quote-unquote seals.
Yeah, they are hiding
seals
underneath like the stage in a gym of a school, for reasons. Title card. So there's just like a really short scene of Oikawa and Segawa like kind of like talking about how they have to stake out in this apartment, and they have some kind of like electronic waves that they're monitoring, and it's not like human life, and it's on whatever. Their parts were for the most part pretty boring, I thought.
Yeah, minus like the ongoing crabs joke, they were pretty pointless to the movie, I felt.
I mean, honestly,
I just think they had like one funny line where like they find like something that, you know, could be like radioactive or alien, and he's just like, you shouldn't touch that. He's like, why? I don't know.
yeah. There was a lot of like subtle dialogue things like that I thought was pretty funny. But so basically we just find out that Shinichi is like a teacher, and he doesn't have a good family life. His son Kazuki is getting bullied at school because they don't like his dad being a teacher for whatever reason. And also his daughter, his middle school daughter Midori, doesn't listen to him and is going out late at night to meet some guy, even though there's a crab man running around killing women.
Also, the guy she's dating is like 50.
Oh, he's older than 50. We'll get to this. So essentially, like, he's like, no, I don't want you to go. There's a murderer. The wife, who I never caught her name, and it doesn't matter. She is basically like shows up and is like, oh, here you go. Here's money for a cab. See you later. It's fine. And he's like, I wish you would like come home earlier. And she ignores him. So there's a lot of basically his family treating him like shit, but this is really the only point that you need to know. Here we go. So Shinichi retires to his bedroom, where he also sleeps separately from his wife, which is strange. I mean, it's not strange, obviously his family is shitty, but and basically he unveils his zebra suit and puts it on, and at this point it looks very cheap. It looks like a you ordered it from a catalog.
Well, I was gonna say like a homemade costume.
Yeah. And he trains a little bit. He also says black and white ecstasy.
Oh yeah, like the names that he hadn't come up for it yet.
So
is that what it was?
I think that's his like catchphrase for Zebraman.
Oh, okay.
Because I think when they actually show Zebraman, he says it.
He should have gone to like an anime convention in this.
Oh,
yeah,
that would have been great.
He basically does a bunch of like he's like not very good at being a superhero essentially, and also sewing, because his entire suit just like rips in a bunch of places.
This part was actually pretty funny, I thought.
Yeah. Like once he actually starts like fucking around with the costume and stuff, like I like all that stuff, and then once he's actually in it, like when he goes out that first night, like after that I'm fully on board. It's just the family shit, like it's just,
yeah,
or like just like the amount of times they show him just being like shit on at work. I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, all of the work stuff. So like essentially right now we get to the first of it, and I'm gonna just glaze through most of it because it's really boring. Essentially what happens is that he's at work, trying to take new measurements to make a new suit. The principal introduces him to a new transfer student named Asano, and essentially, like, it's kind of awkward. I don't know. And basically, like, Asano is in a wheelchair, and he has this talk with the mom, whose name is Kana. Essentially, she's just like, please treat my son like a normal kid. If he does something bad, like, reprimand him. Like, I just want him to be normal. And he's like, cool, I got it. And they're like, all right. And they're kind of awkward to each other. So meanwhile, Shinichi's daughter Midori is at a love hotel with a old man, who, yeah, he's got to be pushing 60, I would say. He just is very, I don't know what they did to him, but he's looking real bad.
He's got weird alien goo monsters inside him.
I mean, yeah. So he is basically, Midori's like talking to him about how her family is stupid or whatever, and he unzips his bag and we see that he is the crab guy. So in this version, it's literally just like a crab hat that he puts on, and then he attacks people with scissors. Like, that's the thing. So
rules. I love it.
Yeah, I also thought that was very, very good.
So essentially, Shinichi is like wearing the zebra suit, and he looks out his windows to see a vending machine, and he decides that he's gonna sneak out and get a drink wearing the suit. But he goes out of his window and essentially just falls off the roof because, like, you know.
For a minute, I was like, wait, did this dude just die? Because he doesn't move for a solid, like, 50 seconds.
He gets, like, knocked out.
I was like, this movie's about to get real weird.
Yeah. And he also gets a Pocari Sweat, which is what he's drinking. And we try... So it's basically like a sports drink in Japan, but unlike Gatorade, it's, like, kind of just, like... It's like a ion drink, but it tastes really, really gross. And we tried them when we went, and it's like really a big brand. And so we're like, yeah, cool, let's try this. And it was super gross. He drinks it a lot. Also, it has sweat in the name, so that's not a good idea. Anyway, back at school, basically, Shinichi like catches Asano like drawing on his desk. And there's also a lot of stuff between these two to kind of like show that they're building a relationship, but like we get it, but it is a lot. So basically they're just like playing basketball, and he's like asking him about the drawing, and apparently we find out that Zebraman was actually a show within, you know, the movie universe, and Asano is like obsessed with the show. And we find out that the reason Shinichiro is like picked that as a mantle is because when he was younger he also liked the show, so he didn't just like make it up. Basically we just see some clips from the show, which I really liked because it's like,
loved it.
Yeah, it's like the actual Zebraman and he's like fighting whatever. We see clips from it and we find out that it was canceled after 7 episodes.
That's a shame.
Yeah, really shitty. And basically they just like have a really long talk where they bond, you know, whatever.
Is this the part where he has like the dream about it with Zebra Nurse?
Not yet.
Oh, that's not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
Because that part was like, there's a part that just made me laugh so fucking hard.
Yeah. So essentially, like, that night or the next night, Shinichiro has like made himself a new Zebraman costume, which like looks a little bit better, because basically he like confiscated this notebook where Asano had like drawn a bunch of different versions of the costume, and he's like used that as a guide. He makes a new suit. He wants to go show him and looks up his address, but when he gets to the house, finds out that he had like read the name wrong and he's at the wrong address. So now you get this scene of him just like running around the streets, like trying not to be seen by people because he's like in the Zebraman costume. And like this whole scene I thought was pretty funny.
Mm.
When he hears a scream and he goes running towards the scuffle, Asano, just chilling out in the street, I guess, happens to see him run by and follows. When Zebraman gets there, he finds the Crab Man, And unfortunately, he has already killed a woman. But, you know, he gets in a fight with Zebraman. He gets beat up for a while. Like he's kind of getting his ass beat. But then, and also, like I said, Crabman is just wearing, like, a crab hat. And he has, like, a pair of scissors that he's
Yeah,
just
but his
doing, like...
boomerang scissors were awesome.
Yeah, so then he starts doing, like, a boomerang scissor thing. And all of a sudden, Zebraman can do a bunch of cool flips and dodges and shit. Then he screams, "Zebraman, screw punch!" And then he runs away right as Asano shows up. Oikawa and Sagawa also show up, and they find the Crabman dead. He's got a huge hole in his face, and the hole is filled with, like, this bubbling green goo. So now we're like, what the fuck is going on?
The like crater in his face is so good.
Yeah. So this was the first part that I'm like, oh, okay, I see. Like, I was starting to expect that maybe there wouldn't be any actual violence in it, but then there's the only reason that this is important. Like, essentially, Shinichi's wife tells him that the Crabman was his daughter's boyfriend. Gross. But also
She's dating a crab.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember what you were talking about, and there was, like, that weird scene where it was just, he's just like, what does your dad do?
Yeah. So, but the reason that this is important is because somebody mentions it was really weird that him being caught was not on the news, because him attacking all these women was on the news, and that's important for later. So, there's an explosion outside.
Normal.
Yeah, it's fine, probably. It's really close to, like, a subway car track too, so not concerning at all. And we see, like, a guy, like a normal guy, just, you know, except that his eyes are glowing. And he's, like, trying to set a fire. And the scene I thought was pretty funny too, because the guy is, like, trying to, like, basically cause another explosion, but Zebraman, I guess, blows the match out, and he looks up, and Zebraman's just, like, standing on a balcony, like, staring at him, and they just, like, stare at each other for a while, and the zombie guy is just like, and just, like, walks away. But then we get the Zebraman back kick, which, so then it just kind of, like, cuts to, the two defense agency guys, like, at the crime scene. I also thought it was really strange that, like, throughout the entire movie, everybody that's around them is wearing, like, hazmat suits, but they're just, like, normal.
Yeah.
Like, going onto the crime scene. So they go there to collect some of the goo, and we see this guy's body that got zebra kicked, and it's, like, all... It's, like...
He's, like,
crumpled.
bent backwards.
Yeah, then his whole, like, head and neck and is, like, bent backwards. His feet are all messed up, and he's got, like, a horseshoe print in his head that is filled with the goo. We see it for a long time. Like, I thought it was pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. And then they torch him. It's fine. So Oikawa, like, goes to the school to, like, question the staff because they know that Asano was at one of the crime scenes. And Shinichiro is going to go and, like, talk to him about it, sort of. He ends up, like, walking him back to his house where they, watch some clips of Zebraman together. The mom comes home and is like, oh my goodness, let me make dinner. And they eat dinner. And Asano's like, yeah, he loves Zebraman too. We're the best. And essentially, Kana tells Shinichi essentially that, like, asks about, like, oh, do you have a family? And he's like, yeah, but they're shitty, essentially. And she's like, oh, well, you know, my husband died by suicide, and Asano's the one that found him, and that's why he can't walk anymore, which is so heartbreaking. Like, I can't even imagine. So then they're, like, sitting at the table talking, and randomly she goes, and she looks over, and you're like, what? And then Shinichiro, like, very slowly turns around, and their front door is open, and there's just a fucking crab guy just, like, staring at them.
But like
It's-
next level crab guy.
This was
like
so much better.
Yeah,
stage
so
2
it's like his bottom
with
is
the
like
face.
person. His top is like a crab, but it's like elongated, and his head is like a human head face, but it's like in a position that like
Where the
I don't know
crab's
how-
mouth would be.
yeah. So I don't know how they put this guy in this suit to make him look like I don't know if he was bending over or something, but like the physics of it really creeped me out, and it was also so jarring because like I don't know, it just was like really creepy. But then the crab man just kind of like looks at him and then like throws the shoes or something and then shuts the door. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? So
That's how you get terrorized by the crab man. He
That's-
shows up in
yeah.
your doorway and throws shoes at you and
That's-
leaves
that's
I
every
bet-
night.
I bet like I bet David Lynch watched this movie and he was like, I really like that part.
I wish I would have
then
come
he
up with
made
that.
Twin Peaks. So yeah, and it is worth pointing out that the clip that we saw earlier from an unaired episode of Zebraman had this crab guy in it. So the crab guy is like, well,
canon.
okay. So yeah, so essentially Shinichiro like goes outside and it is daytime now. The crab man is huge and he is like fighting him as Zebraman, like a good-looking Zebraman. And basically the crab guy just like claws his whole arm off and he calls for the zebra nurse. And Kana comes like walking up in this like zebra woman costume, but she has like this huge ass like syringe and like blonde hair for some reason. And it actually reminded me of a character from like another one of these shows that's called like Yatarman. It's like a takeoff of the main character from that, which I thought was kind of cool. And she comes and just like injects his arm, and his arm grows back. It's fine. Then
you
Not a
literally
big deal.
it just comes out from like behind the cape. Like,
but
he
you
just
also
raises
see
it up.
his arm like laying on the ground behind him. So it's like
Oh, it's so funny.
he just grew a new one. And then we get a scene of Zebra Nurse, Zebraman, and Asano eating crab and laughing and having a good time. But then Shinichiro wakes up. I'm sorry, Shinichi. I keep wanting to say Shinichiro, which is somebody that's not in this movie. He wakes up. He's like laughing when he wakes up, and it's kind of sad because you realize like it's just like one of those dreams you have where you wake up happy and then realize that life sucks, and then you're sad, you know? So, Zebraman. Okay, so basically we just get like some little montages of him like fighting people to a theme song that is playing. We see him do a zebra bomber move, in where he picks up a guy and then, I don't know, goes up into the air and then like slams down, kind of like a wrestling move type thing.
Yeah, that's how wrestling moves work.
Yeah. And then he also chases these two guys through a supermarket, and there's a bunch of like Japanese play on words that happen here, which were pretty funny. And then he gets the two guys with a double kick.
I would like if in wrestling they announced their moves before they did them. That
Like,
would
why
be
don't
fun.
they? Honestly, though, that's
should.
why not?
I feel like
some of
somebody
them do.
probably does.
Like what's Diamond Dallas Page's move? I
It's
forget.
Diamond cutter.
Diamond cutter.
The diamond cutter. If he just yelled, he was just like, "Damn it!" See, that one works. That one works.
I swear, I mean, like,
But if the Rock was like the people's elbow, it's like it doesn't really have the
I
same.
assumed he did call that one out. I know the name of it, so there's got to be a reason.
no, he did, like, I know somebody does, but I just can't think of it. Somebody has to. Because the only thing that's coming to mind is, like, Roman Reigns, but he just screams. He doesn't, like, yell Superman punch. Yeah. I don't know.
It'd be great if he shouted Superman punch. Like, Superman punch!
Spear!
Yeah, it is
Goldberg
kind of
shouted
interesting.
jackhammer before he falls over.
He might as
'cause he can't
well.
get someone up.
That is like that's gotta be like a cultural thing though, because I'm thinking
Yeah.
back to like all the anime I've watched, and I'm like, oh, it's in like every single anime. It was in like Zoids, It's in Pokemon to some degree. Fucking Gundam. Because we thought Shining Finger was the funniest fucking thing when we were kids.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say it's definitely, you know, you got Sailor Moon. It's like totally a cultural thing, and I'm not really sure why.
Because when Adam West did it as Batman, it sucked. He was just like, bat grenade. It's like, Adam, man, come on.
What if he did the Bat Diamond Cutter?
Yeah.
Bat Diamond Cutter. That sounded more like the SNL guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want the SNL guy reading off like Japanese anime like attack titles now, but in like the vein of SNL. That would be awesome.
I tried to like Google it, but the only thing that came up was 10 times wrestlers were caught on camera calling for moves. So I don't think.
Botchamania.
Yeah, just.
Let's see. For some reason, the like the defense agency is like at a bathhouse, like doing science. They're like.
Yeah, this was very weird to me.
Doing science.
Yeah, this was very weird.
But the guy coming in is very funny.
Yeah, they've got it. They've got the blob like suspended in the middle of the bath, but the water is like white and like bubbling with like lights underneath it. But yeah, some guy just comes in and starts bathing. So I don't know. So then there's like this scene where like the principal is talking to Shinichi about how Asano is dangerous and he needs to be transferred, and also Shinichi is going to be transferred too. There was like this whole thing where like his son wanted him to transfer so people wouldn't beat him up or whatever, and he's essentially just like, well, like, what are you talking about? Like, you're being weird. Like, tell me what's going on. And then they stare at each other for a while, and what I can only describe as his zebra sense goes off.
Oh, yeah.
Which
this was also
his
great.
Hair randomly poofing out like a zebra mane on the back of his head. So, which, like, that's never explained. So that's what I assume is happening. So he essentially, like, runs and, like, grabs his bag and is, like, trying to run. We see this shot of, like, his son, Kazuki, like, driving a van full of a bunch of kids that have shining eyes. And they basically just drive up to some guy's, like, shop and just start wrecking up the place. And they're, like, smashing these watermelon and, like, eating watermelon and stuff. And the shopkeeper's like, those are for sale. Don't eat it like that. At least use some salt or something like that. And I thought it was really funny because, like, it's just like a bunch of children like beating, like kicking the shit out of his stuff. Oikawa shows up with his like hazmat team, and they're just kind of like, and then Zebraman shows up too, and he sees his son, and he basically just like kidnaps him, like picks him up and runs away. As like the actual police show up and are like, what's going on? And they're like, I don't know, these kids just freaked out. Meanwhile, there's like a scene of the principal this whole time has like, there was like a line about how he was scared for the kids' safety, so he like taped up the gym, because at this point we still don't know what's going on with him, right? So now there's a scene of him like going to the gym, making sure it's sealed up, but he sees that there's like the goo leaking through a pipe, so he goes inside and like, I don't know, the bottom of the gym is like filled with goo. I guess the CG here made it really hard for me to tell what was going on, but he basically gets like pulled under the gel and like pulled
this
around.
Part looked really lame, I have to be honest, because it was just like a CG filter like over him, but it was clear that he was just being like dragged around, you know, in regular air.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how else to describe being dragged around in a fucking like gymnasium. Just like it was that, you know, they couldn't even like put him in like green water.
Yeah, and it was like the effect that they put over top of it, they made it kind of like translucent so you could still see him, but kind of too translucent. So like, I don't know. And then I guess essentially he just like drowns in the goo or is smothered or something. I don't know, because later we see his like chalk outline of him having died.
I mean, every gym class has that one goo incident.
Yeah,
You know?
it happens.
Yeah, I mean, so then we're back at the bathhouse, and Seigawa is also bathing while, you know, the goo is just in there. And he
Well, the
sees,
goo awaits.
yeah, the goo like literally turns into a tiny alien to like watch him bathe. You know. Meanwhile, Kana is like helping some lady give birth to a green baby.
Oh my god, that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
I did not like the green baby.
I can't say I did either. It just looked like, you know, those like huge like 8-pound gummy bears. It was kind of like that, but a baby.
But just a baby shape.
8-pound
Yeah.
gummy bear.
Yeah. And so like while all this is happening, it kind of like, I don't know, kind of switched between scenes a lot during here. Shinichi has Kazuki and he's kind of like, I'm your dad. He like takes off his mask, and then this like green goo comes out of his son and like flops onto his face, but then it flies away or something, and he comes to. And basically like he tries to take his son to the hospital, but Kana's like, hey, there's green babies up in here, we gotta go. So they go back to their house.
At least you warned him.
I know, and yeah, and at least she
Normally
was
we just
concerned.
deal with blue and orange babies, but not
Right.
green babies.
At least she was concerned, and she wasn't just like most like movies where they're just kind of like, that was strange. She's like, no, this is not great. So they go back to her house, and basically, like, she asks him if he's Zebraman, and he tells her yeah, and also tells her about the zebra nurse dream, for whatever reason. So later, Shinichi goes back to work. He puts flowers down on the principal's desk to kind of like honor him because he's dead. And he finds a envelope addressed to him with keys inside, and also a note that says something like, be the future you want to see, or something, anything goes. So there's the anything goes again. And this part kind of confused me a little bit. I think they were keys to the principal's apartment. And for some reason, like, Oikawa is also there. I'm not really sure why. But basically, when they go into the apartment, it's just like a room with a fish in a bag hanging off of like a tripod, and then like some magazines.
Yeah, I didn't understand that at all.
I don't really know what's going on with that. But, I mean, I guess, well, we'll know why. So essentially, Shinichi finds all of these scripts that are the Zebraman show, and he starts like looking through the first couple, and it's everything that's happened, like Asano being in a wheelchair, the crab guy, Zebraman, and the only thing that's missing in the story is the principal, because the principal is the original screenwriter.
Yes.
It's M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Here we go, buckle up. So, 34 years ago, a alien crash landed in probably the worst CG scene I've ever seen.
it
I don't
was
know
so
what was
good,
going on
though.
with that. It
That
literally
was
looked like somebody made it in
amazing.
paint and then like somehow animated it.
It was great. I loved it. I loved how shitty it
Yes,
looked. Like, it was like, there's no way that he wasn't just like, it doesn't matter. It'll be
Just
funny.
do-
Just
yeah.
get the work. Like Mars Attacks looks better now than that.
Well, I mean, honestly. Yeah, it was kind of like they made the movie and then they noticed it was missing, so they're like, just scribble it really quick.
It looked like Area 51, that old like shoot 'em up game.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that game ruled.
Yes.
Yes, it did.
So that happened, and then afterwards, the school that Shinichiro works at, oh my god, I said it again. Shinichi works at was built on the crash site, essentially, and so the principal had written out everything to try and warn everybody about aliens invading. It gets even better, because now Seigawa is like talking to Oikawa about how the principal was actually the very first OG alien that was aboard that ship that crashed 34 years ago. And he was a traitor because he was trying to stop the other aliens from invading Earth. So he was actually a good guy. But Segawa's kind of being weird, and he kind of like goos out.
This part was good too.
It was like
pretty gnarly.
Yeah, he like basically his face starts like pulsating off because there's goo underneath it, and eventually he just like explodes and is now a tiny little alien.
Yeah,
These aliens are like really small.
This had like big, like late '90s trauma vibes to it of like his meltdown.
That's why I was saying the fact that this was made in 2004 seemed like I was surprised it was as early as it or as late as it was.
This scene is what it feels like if you've ever taken pre-workout. It's just like concentrated fucking caffeine, and your face starts to buzz and tingle real bad. And it just feels like it's falling off.
All right, good to know.
Take some. It's great. It's wonderful.
Hard pass.
Yeah.
Like you selling that and then coupled with your Skype picture is amazing.
Okay, so then Oikawa basically just like launches a ball of fire at him or something, and he flies out a window.
What was that thing?
I don't know.
You just have your casual like fireball launcher on hand.
Yeah, why not?
I wish.
There's this very long, drawn-out scene of Shinichi like talking to his son, and he's essentially just like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go buy a bike. Also, do you think I can fly?" And the kid's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And
I'd say the same thing to my dad.
I mean, right? And so
probably have too.
He says,
if he's been drinking.
I mean, he says sorry a bunch, and then he's going to leave. And at the last minute, Kazuki's like, "Hey, Dad, go get him." And he's like, because they've bonded now. He's Zebraman. So, Zebraman, it just like hard cuts to him looking really fucked up, standing at the top of a tree and going like, "Hey, hey," or like making some kind of noise, and then he just like falls out of the tree, and Kana happens to just be like riding her bike by as he falls into the street, and she like takes care of him by like the river, and he asks her if like, "Did you guys read the last script of like the Zebraman script?" And she's like, "No, I don't know if Asano did or whatever. Why? What happens?" And essentially he's saying that in the last episode, Zebraman fights the head alien and loses because he can't fly, and Earth is invaded.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Kind of weird. So, meanwhile, Oikawa's boss is basically telling him that, like, they can't figure out what's going on with the alien mess. So essentially, they're just going to drop a bomb on the school. And they've like set up a perimeter around the area where the bomb is going to be dropped. And he's like, "No, this sucks. Like, my friend died for no reason. I'm going to figure this out." So he goes out. Meanwhile, Zebraman tries to fly by jumping off of a bridge. It doesn't work. Oikawa finds him, and I don't know. Their conversation was really kind of anticlimactic, but essentially he just was kind of like, "You're a hero, like go fight evil. See ya." And Zebraman's like, "Okay, I guess." We find Kana arrives back home after like taking care of Shinichi and realizes that her son is gone because he's read the last issue of the script, and she goes to find him. She thinks he's at the school, but at this point the school is blocked off and he can't get by, or she can't pass. We see that he is at the gym already. Then really triumphantly Zebraman rides up, and Oikawa's there and like lets him through the barricade up to the school. Oikawa and Kana follow on her bicycle. Okay. Here we go. Zebraman shows up to the gym, and there are a bunch of aliens. There are a bunch of tiny little aliens. And there's like a big main alien. Well, he's not the main alien yet. He's like a big alien, and he has Asano in like a blob alien sack type thing. And the aliens all charge at him. He's just kind of like kicking them, punching them, like, you know, pretty normal stuff. But as he's like knocking them into the wall and they're like splattering, they are forming together to make bigger aliens, and essentially they start to like overtake him and like knock him on the ground, and he's like struggling with the helmet and stuff. He like crawls over to the helmet, and all of a sudden there's like a flash of light in it, so when he puts it back on, he like stands up and is like the real Zebraman, like in a real costume and not the costume that he made. And now he's got powers, and you know it's about to get real because some heavy metal music starts playing.
Hell yeah. This is awesome. I was trying to figure out if it was anybody like notable. Probably wasn't.
I know we were talking before about how like the music information is like not really on here. At that point, his family and like basically the whole town shows up at the school because they're like, what's going on over here? So essentially, Shinichi like grabs Asano and goes running and is being chased by the aliens. His son happens to see them. He goes up onto the roof, and the aliens like merge into a really, really big alien. It's like, I don't know, it's like huge.
Yeah, it's like the size of a building,
like
basically, bigger than the building.
Yeah, but it's like 3 buildings tall of that one school or whatever. It's like a skyscraper.
Just like picturing them like making it bigger in their like fucking Adobe Photoshop program or whatever it is. It's just like they just select. It's like
that Kylo Ren like more.
Yeah.
So basically the alien, I guess, like, I don't know, opens a portal in the sky and like drops bombs down on Zebraman. I wasn't really sure what was going on at this point, but he basically like takes Asano over to the other side and is like, oh no, I don't know what to do. And he's like, you can fly, I believe in you. And Asano's like, look, I can stand now, after we watch this poor child try and stand up for like 10 minutes. And he's like, I did it. So then he is like empowered, but then the alien grabs Asano and like
yeah, I was like, you can't stop, you're gonna put yourself out there.
I know.
He
like
brutalized
grabs him and has him in like a goo ball and then like drops him over the side of the building. So Shinichi like jumps over and grabs him, and then at the last minute his cape flutters open and he flies.
I was very disappointed they did not use like the little thing he catches the kid in, like a yo-yo.
I mean, yeah. He flies with his zebra cape and gives him to Kana. Then he flies up into the sky. The sky
How
is
long
like,
have zebras been able to fly?
A long time.
I mean,
yeah.
Damn.
I
missed that day at the zoo. Every
yeah.
time
They
I
don't
guess.
teach you about it in school.
It's because
Yeah.
they clip their wings at the zoo.
Yeah.
yeah,
Teach the controversy.
makes sense. So he's flying around. He's like fighting the alien to like pretty classical Power Rangers metal stuff going on. The alien's arm turns into like a ray gun or something, and it's like shooting lightning beams. I also just like cannot stress how bad this looks. It looks like a children's cartoon from like when CG. It like looks worse than Jimmy Neutron. It's like pretty bad.
It would have been better if they like, even if they didn't, if they just built like a monster suit and then just like CGI'd that into a shot of the city. Like that would have looked better, or just more fun, you know?
And
like,
I was like looking on here and I don't see the budget anywhere, and I just have to guess that like the budget wasn't very high, especially because like knowing the kinds of movies this was like based off on or like spoofing or whatever, I really expected there to be more like suit villain stuff happening.
That's what the sequel
Then-
kind of looks like.
That's why I was saying, like, I felt like the sequel looks like a little bit more fun, but I think when I clicked on trying to see more about the budget, it wants me to sign up, and
Yeah.
there's just no way I would ever do that. So here's where it gets real, you guys. So the alien is shooting lightning beams at him. He charges at the alien and then turns into an actual zebra with wings. A actual zebra. He is now a zebra with wings.
See? There's
And-
the
Man
wings.
zebra.
Yeah. He uses his laser beam eyes to basically like burn a Z into the alien's forehead, which causes the alien to explode.
You should have turned it into a centaur, but the bottom is like a zebra.
I
The top half is a zebra, and he's
Oh,
got
wasn't-
human legs.
yeah. Oh my god. I wasn't expecting them to go with like a Zorro thing here, but that's essentially what happened. Then we just get a shot of Zebraman standing triumphantly in front of the full moon. Then it cuts to Oikawa, essentially has him in the back of a truck, and he's arrested him, and he's like, what is going on? Why am I arrested? And he's like, destruction of public property, and we see that the school is completely decimated, which kind of seems like the alien's fault and not his, but whatever. But then he is like, here, get out, I'm gonna let you go, and gives him his mask back, and when he opens the door, everyone is there cheering for him. And they're like, yay, our hero. And so he gets out of the truck and starts walking. His family's there, and his wife is commenting on how Zebraman is really sexy. And his daughter Midori is like, I don't know, that looks like dad. And she's like, ew, no it doesn't. And he just kind of like looks at them, but then Kazuki smiles at him and gives him the nod, so you know they're cool. Then he walks up to the building. Asano is there, and he's like, thank you. And everyone starts chanting, Zebraman, Zebraman. And slowly in the back of the crowd, Oikawa walks away like a cool anime guy. And then Zebraman runs up the steps really fast and poses and says, striping evil, and busts out of his handcuffs. And then it's the end.
But he gets a new suit, right? Or was that before?
It's the same suit, but he's got like from like when he's extra zebra man at the end. He just
Yeah.
I think when he does like the spin to like with the cape and shit, he's like got that on again.
Yeah, he turned into real Zebraman.
Zebraman 2.0.
So-
Not just zebra guy.
Yeah, not Zebra Dash Man, Zebraman.
Zebraman.
Shinichi Zebraman.
Zebraman.
Zebra.
So, I don't know. I feel like, for me, I really liked half of the content. Like,
It just
The
needed
ending-
like 20 minutes cut out of it, and it would have been really good.
yeah, cut out some of the drama. I would have loved more, like, the guys, like, why did we only get that one Crabman guy? Like, everyone else was just sort of, like, possessed by the aliens, and I really would have liked there to be more weird creature people or something. The CGI alien did not work for me. The ending I thought was, like, a little wacky, especially since they've really grounded the rest of the movie, sort of. I mean, aside from the alien shit. I'm speaking just in terms of, like, him being a superhero or whatever. But, like, I like that, like, I don't know. I like that he bonded with his son. I like that the town was like, yay, you're worth something, because that was, like, the whole point of the movie, right? That everyone just, like, shits on him because he's just, like, a normal guy or whatever, but, like, I don't know. So, yeah, I don't know. I think the second one looks like probably...
I'll probably end up
Like-
watching it soon, because
Do you know what it's on?
I think it was on Tubi.
Oh, okay.
The tubes.
Yeah.
Now that we've got the origin story out of the way, we can really get wacky, you know?
Watch this shit instead of the fucking stupid full moon features I keep watching.
Tubi, man.
Oh no, it's not. It's got Zebraman subbed and dubbed. That's why I thought it was on here. I don't know. I'll find it.
Oh,
The dubbed is still just the sub version.
Yes.
By the way.
I know. That's
Great.
how I tried to watch.
what?
Yep. Same.
Oh, really?
I-
I
was like-
clicked subbed.
My brain was fried yesterday, and I was like, I'll just deal with terrible fucking dub job. It's fine, whatever. And then everyone was
Aha.
like, speaking Japanese. I was like, all right, well.
Yeah, I was trying to watch it while like doing other stuff, and then I was like, oh well, I guess I gotta pay attention now.
Yeah, oh, that's interesting. I had no idea because, like, yeah, they don't have an English cast listed, so I didn't even know they were trying to trick people.
All right. Any news?
It'd be funny if like the only part that was actually dubbed was when he says anything goes, but it was
Yeah,
just for
it's just
someone
that.
being like that was a like such a not even like fitting voice. It was just be like he'd be like, anything goes, but he doesn't like change his like face or anything. It's just someone screaming the line.
Yeah, the anything goes. There was like a bunch of scenes with that I just like skipped over because I was like, okay, who cares about this? Where like the principal is like realizing that he's like sick or something, and he was like, you can, yeah, it's essentially just being like, yeah, you can do anything that you put your mind to, or some shit. And I was like, okay, who cares? We get it.
I was trying to see if it had like some like resemblance or like relation to the song "Anything Goes," which is like an old song from like Cole Porter, who was in the play "Anything Goes," but I don't think that's true. I don't think he was getting that. I don't think he was getting that like thematical with it. That's what happens when you smoke weed and watch Zebraman.
Well, yeah. The only news I saw is that, like, back when we did What We Do in the Shadows, I had talked about how the two police officers that, like, come to the house or whatever were in a spin-off series called Wellington Paranormal, which has been around since 2018, and it's in its third season, and it's finally coming to, like, American streaming services. So it was acquired by HBO Max and the CW. So I'm looking forward to checking that out because I thought they were pretty funny.
Huh. I forgot about that
I've got terrible news.
being a thing. Is it about
Yeah.
Spiral coming out?
No. But Mortal Kombat has been pushed back a week.
Oh my god, really? I didn't
What's
even see
the
that.
point of being alive?
I don't know. I had planned on making it to April 16th, and now I've got to replan a whole other week on top of
now
that.
you have to do your fucking taxes, because...
Ugh.
They just wanted to come out closer to my birthday. That's what it is. So I'm sorry. My bad. It now comes out the week of my birthday. Oh, no, wait. No, it's the week before, so I don't care.
Oh, come on, HBO.
It's because I have the inside scoop. They are adding Zebraman.
Oh, I'm in.
Zebraman
better
he's like the bonus character that they always throw in that
Yeah.
from like a completely unrelated series. You know, they had like Jason Voorhees or I don't know, they put Master Chief or a Master Chief type character in one of the games. Yeah, this one they're just doing fucking or like in
Superman.
Injustice they put Scorpion in.
My favorite thing is when they added Solid Snake to Smash Bros. And
Hell
then
yeah.
they added, like, one of his alternate costumes is, like, spandex, but it's, like, cheetah print. It was my favorite.
It's awesome. And everybody was obsessed with his butt.
I
He's
mean-
got a tight ass.
It's, yeah.
Ugh. You know what this reminds me of? Crab Battle.
Crab battle.
Nathan's probably like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
You guys lost me. As soon as you started talking about video games, I was like, I'm out. I'm not a fucking nerd.
Like,
No,
that's a lie.
for you,
That's
man.
a lie.
You didn't spend time on fuck, what was it? What was that website? I can't believe I'm blanking the name on it. The animation website.
Oh, I don't know.
The big one.
The only reason I'm not a gamer is I don't have
E-Bomb Squirrel?
$500 for a fucking system.
No.
What?
Newgrounds. Jesus
Oh.
Christ. The big one. Guys, the big one.
The, you know, the
big
4chan?
website.
I don't know. Yeah, the Google?
The big
The
website.
Google.
Big tech.
All right. Anybody watch anything good this week?
I watched The Day of the Beast.
Oh
Pretty
yeah.
fucking sick.
Did you buy the Blu-ray?
Yeah. I watched it on Tubi because I saw the Blu-ray was coming out, and I was like, "That's a cool cover. I'm gonna watch that." And it was super dope, so I just went ahead and bought it.
Nice. What about you, Katie?
I don't think I watched anything new, honestly.
Yeah, I've just been watching guys' grocery games.
I mean, can't go wrong there.
That's a quality program.
Oh my God,
I just
so
discovered like the city that I work in has a Flavor Town now.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna Uber Eats the shit out of that.
Yeah, I went on a couple of cruises and they had a guy's burger like thing, and it's probably the it was pretty good. I liked it, but I never went to the actual brick and mortar place that's no longer there because I heard it was terrible. And Sarah went thinking it was going to be like not great, but kind of a fun experience anyway because it was bad. It was just like, oh, no, this is just woof.
Yeah, I went to the Guy's American Kitchen and Bar in New York.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, oh, that was the fucking worst. That is, like, same reason that we went, and it was, like, I would not even give it I would give it half a star because it was open, and it was, like, thunderstorming, and that's it.
There was
it
water.
was so bad. Yeah.
There was
bad.
I think it was a New York Times review, but there was like an article that came out that was like the review of it is amazing. It's so funny.
Oh, Guy.
I don't know. I hit the point where like they're filming during COVID, so he's doing guys' grocery games like delivery service stuff. So he's like sending food to like the chefs' houses, and it's very strange, but I'm into it.
I think that's what because I saw one. He's got another couple of shows where it's like he goes to his like amazing outdoor ranch kitchen or some shit, and like has other celebrity chefs come and like cook there, and it's like really fast paced or whatever. And they started doing that through like Skype or Zoom too or whatever. And I'm like, this is just not. I can't. This is bad.
I'm here for all of it. All the Guy Fieri area I could get.
I mean, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
I can't lie.
So I think the only movie I've watched like all week was The Editor again.
Yeah, I'm like I'm about to end a bunch of the shows that longer shows that I've been watching, so hopefully this weekend I'll be able to start watching like new stuff.
Yeah, and get back to trying to finish the Snyder Cut.
I don't know.
I'm doing that this weekend.
I don't know if I'm ready.
I'm doing we're gonna watch Godzilla vs. Kong, but we're bookending it Friday and Sunday with the Snyder Cut.
Oh,
so yeah, we're breaking the edibles out for that one. Which
you're gonna
could
need
be
it.
a waste. Could just fall asleep.
What, you got to get past the
Yeah.
first 30 minutes. Then I was very on board with it.
Woof.
But it's like the
Yeah.
first 30 minutes is just people sadly walking around and moping about
Slow-mo.
Superman.
In slow-mo.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
But once like
Gonna
it was
be awesome.
another one where it was like once kind of the action kind of shit starts happening, I was on board. And Darkseid rules, so
Yeah. He's gonna have to do a lot to win me over.
he
We'll see about that.
pretty cool scene of him when he first comes to Earth, but he's again not the main villain. It's still Steppenwolf.
I will
The band?
report back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The entire
The
Entire band.
Do they have a magic carpet?
Just
Bunch of 60-year-old dudes out there rocking to destroy the Earth.
I did see one really funny post on Facebook that was just a picture of Steppenwolf, and they captioned it with just like, so that's what happened to all those lost paper clips, because his costume does just look like
his
a lot of paper clips on a magnet.
His costume looked like something, and I couldn't play like another costume. Like it looked like a ripoff of something, but I couldn't place what it was.
I said to my friend that it looks kind of like Bad Species, but
It at least looks way better than the Joss Whedon version.
oh god, that one looked so bad. I don't want to think about the time. Whatever. I don't want to think about watching this one now, but whatever. I'll report back. Yeah. Can't wait.
Go ahead, Katie.
I was gonna say, like, I was listening to last week's episode, like, yesterday, where I was like, okay, yeah, I'll give it another shot, and I'm like, I regret saying that.
You won't. I know you won't. You watch anything good this week, Dylan?
I'm watching Curb Your Enthusiasm for the first time, and I'm just
so
like,
good.
oh my god.
Wow,
I'm
nice.
just like, I'm enjoying it a lot.
It's like Seinfeld, but like better.
Unhinged.
Yeah.
Unhinged. And it's funny because I just working in like a very like wealthy suburban town wine shop. I'm like, God, I feel like I've encountered so many fucking Larry Davids just
Oh my
making
gosh,
my
yeah.
day difficult for no fucking reason. But yeah, it's pretty good. I understand it takes a few seasons to get like really like to the peak stuff, but it's been pretty good so far.
Yeah, it's really good. It's like Seinfeld the same way, where you gotta get through like the first 2 seasons for it to kind of like really go at full steam.
Yeah, so I've just been diving into that. I started playing Skyrim again, so that's really been like soaking up a lot of my time, and
Same.
it's,
Terrible mistake.
yeah, horrible mistake, but man, it's so much fun. I'm building a house. It's like fucking Animal Crossing, but I murder things.
Animal Crossing with dragons.
Yeah. Oh, I fucking hate the dragons. They're so annoying.
They're dicks.
They are. Yeah, I haven't really watched anything. I've been like gearing up to watch those just 6.5 hours of ridiculous Warner Brothers content.
I mean, at least King Kong and Godzilla will probably be good. Or at least
It'll be stupid,
like,
but it'll probably be entertaining.
well, everything I've seen is
Can't
like they were like, there's not really much of a plot. It's literally just them fighting, and I am fully on board with
That's
that.
all I
Like,
want.
do you need a plot? Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it more than I am the last one. So just because they had that sick rap song in the trailer, that
Oh,
was so
jeez.
funny.
If one of these movies,
And
like,
Mecha
if
Godzilla.
Oops.
they don't do a Godzilla soon that has a Puff Daddy
Jimmy?
Jimmy Page song in it, I would be real upset.
but like
Bring it
them
back.
doing it now,
Yeah.
like Jimmy Page being like the old fucking pedophile that he is,
Yeah.
and Puff Daddy
Just-
being like, I'm not down with the values,
Just
but I do like money.
Puff Daddy singing fucking Stairway to Heaven this time or some shit.
Oh.
Oh my god. Oh no, you know what
So-
they do? They cover the song that Zeppelin ripped off to make Stairway to Heaven.
I say they just go just do like the same idea, but instead it's Puff Daddy singing Jailbreak with like somebody from Thin Lizzy. Warner Brothers, hire me.
Oh yeah, and the QAnon doc, which we talked about already, but that's been kind of my thing that I've been enjoying the most.
I'm really hoping the last 2 episodes drop Sunday, so I can just fucking.
Yeah, I'm waiting so I can just binge it all.
They've been
'cause
dropping.
You know how I be.
I be pooping. You know how I be.
Pooping just you know how I be.
All right. Shout outs. Katie.
Oh,
Neighbors.
I shout out not having neighbors and owning your own house. Let's see. I'm gonna just shout out really, really obscure shit for this whole month. Also, I know that I've shouted it out the last like 3 times, but the new Citizen album finally came out and I listened to it and it's amazing. So go listen to that. My other shout out is going to be a game from 2008 for the Wii called Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. It is a fighting game where you get to play as characters from Capcom, which is like Street Fighter, Mega Man, Beautiful Joe, that kind of stuff. And Tatsunoko, which is like Gatchaman. It's like a lot of the same kind of like Power Rangers-esque kind of characters, but it's like instead of being just like, Street Fighter versus whoever, it's like from a bunch of different series that have never been in games before, and it's a fighting game, and it's really fun. So if you can somehow find that, go play it.
What about you, Kit?
Great question.
What pay-per-view are you at?
I don't know because the WWE network shut down and doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's on Peacock now, and
Peacock doesn't have all the shit.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
that sucks.
that's so
My friends were
fucked
doing
up.
the same thing. They were watching all the WrestleManias too.
Like,
It,
how are you gonna have that and have people paying for it for that long to just be like, fuck it?
See ya.
they're like, oh, by August we'll have everything ported over. But like, I've tried watching a couple things on it that they have, and they have like commercials in the middle of the pay-per-views and shit.
Boo. Yeah.
I was-
Oh, well, that's probably because Peacock is like a lot of stuff's free, but also it's like Hulu used to be, where you could like pay to like not have commercials and shit.
That's the thing. It's like paying $5. I had no idea I was getting ads
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Well-
oh, cool, I get some movies and stuff. But all of the movies have ads in the middle of them too.
No, yeah, that sucks. The thing that makes me mad about that is like, I mean, your streaming platform is going to be what it is, but I remember when they first announced it and they made it seem like it was going to be just like not shitty like that with commercials, and then it's like, oh yeah, we have The Office, come over to us, but it's like you can't watch the entire thing for free. It's only like certain seasons of certain stuff is free, and I'm just like, no, fuck you. I don't play with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was excited. I thought it was going to be a better deal. I was like, okay, well, like
Yeah.
$5 and I get wrestling and movies and stuff. But it's like, well, you get some wrestling and
Pe-
all of the movies
Commercials.
have fucking 20 minutes of commercials.
Peacock
and-
had like a pretty terrible movie selection from what I remember, because I signed up for like the week when the Saved by the Bell reboot came out, and I don't think I watched anything on it except that.
There's like 10 movies that I really want to see, and they're only on there out of the like 100 movies that they have
Yeah.
or whatever. It's like, maybe I'll just dip.
Well,
Yeah, it's like so shitty to like charge people for a service, but then put ads in it. Like,
R.I.P. Kit's Wrestling Corner. You'll be missed.
Very sad.
Especially by me. It was my favorite part.
We could just start talking about like WrestleBotch videos on Instagram instead.
I'm in.
That's fucking the best account.
Yeah. Shout out WrestleBotch and
Yeah,
Botchamania.
there you go. What about you, Dylan? You want to shout something out?
I would shout out the new Genghis Tron album, but no, there's some discerning,
Nah,
differing opinions here.
It's just not for me.
But I liked it a lot. I also liked the other one by them, but what I listened to today that I really liked was this rapper Armand Hammer.
Oh,
He's got
yeah.
a new album out called Haram. His name is fucking great. But this album kicked ass. I loved it. He did it with The Alchemist. I thought it was awesome. Really good.
yeah, he's really good.
I really like that. This is not related to him, but there's that band. You guys know the band Mourn?
Yeah, like Morne.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're awesome. But Arm & Hammer, that new album is really good. Go check that out if you haven't.
90 Day Fiance, still every week.
Which spin-off this week?
I'm still
You do
watching.
a different spin-off every
I'm
week.
still like they're still currently airing the fucking dating show, which is a nightmare. Big Ed fucking going on dates and Danielle going on dates. It's not great. They have a newlywed style game where they make the couples answer questions about each other that is extremely terrible, and I'm on board.
That sounds painful.
Did you watch the season with like Angela and Michael, right?
Maybe
One of the old Southern white ladies that tries to get like a dude from Africa as a husband to
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's on it, and she's just constantly talking about dicks, and it's wild.
God.
So it's like her regular
Yeah.
season.
Oh, she was like the raw dog.
No,
Lady,
that was
right?
she's one
Oh,
of them.
What? There's a separate
No,
lady?
there's a lady
Oh.
every season that's like some old white lady that's just trying to get some young black guy to marry her. Not great, but I will watch the shit out of it.
Do you get like a health benefit from watching these shows?
No, I get serotonin into my brain.
I feel like it would be the opposite for me. That would like bum me out.
It rules. It's the worst thing that's ever happened on Earth, but I love it. Other than that, the See You Space Cowboy, If I Die First split that's up for pre-order right now that I cannot wait for. Katie, what are we watching next week?
Oh, is it my movie?
Yeah, I don't think Kit's picked
Oh.
anything yet, so
It is called Tag.
there you go. Tag on YouTube.
I'm going
Yeah.
to assume it's the American one.
Yeah, it's the
from
Kevin
Yeah,
Hart one.
No, no. Oh my god. I
No,
actually didn't even
that one.
know that was like a movie that happened until I tried to like pull it up, and then it showed up as that, and I was like,
Well, that's the one I'm watching.
It's called Tag. It's from 2015, and it is on, YouTube for free. And it's when I put out after we did Battle Heater, I did a whole list on our Patreon of like free to watch Asian horror movies, and when I looked this up, then it was also on Tubi and also on Vudu and Amazon. So like, it should be you'll be able to find it. If worst case scenario, it'll be YouTube. But it looks
There
incredible.
are so many movies named Tag.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was hoping like the year would.
Oh, this is
2015.
from the guy that did Suicide Club. I'm in.
Get it? It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be good. I have not seen it. Have always wanted to. Honestly, like I remember when the trailer came out, the scene that if you haven't seen the trailer, I don't want to ruin it because it's like really really awesome. Like blew my mind, and I just like kind of forgot about it. So I'm very excited.
I don't like that this guy has a movie called Anti-Porno. I don't like that stance.
Well,
I've heard of this movie.
yeah,
Suicide Club, anyway.
yeah.
Not the anti-porno one. I don't want to know that movie.
It's got a better rating than Tag, so
What if?
Oof,
Oh my
well.
god! What if it was actually supposed to be a movie adaptation of Tang, the drink from the '90s, but they left out the N.
Well,
we're gonna find
like
out.
all the blood is just Tang instead.
Just a bunch of orangutans.
Oh,
Hanging out.
I don't like that. Mm-mm.
Katie's got
No, thank you.
anti-simian
No
stance.
monkeys here. Yeah, not a fan.
All right. I don't know. All the normal shit. Patreon.com/IEpisode4Podcast. We have an episode dropping in like a day on a bunch of good movies, I guess, for once.
Yeah, classics.
Yeah.
Ish.
Good movies that don't have Danny DeVito for some reason. I don't know why we're
Yeah.
not just
Danny
doing
DeVito in house would be amazing.
Danny DeVito in any in Scanners. Come on, that'd be
Scanny DeVito.
yeah. Just
right there, DeVito.
Danny's DeVito. That's not as good.
leave us ratings, reviews, all that shit. Instagram I Hope You Suffer Podcast. Follow Kit at Hidden Kitstery. Follow Katie at Werewolf Face. Listen to my other podcast named Kate Movie Club. Dylan, what you got going on?
If you want to listen to my podcast Diary of Doom, where we try to find other bands besides the 5 same stoner metal bands that exist that everyone loves. No, I'm kidding. I love it. I love what I do. You can follow that on all the main platforms. I just love making fun of the genre of music that I love. And I've got another side podcast, Defenders of the Cake, that Nathan and Katie and Kit have all been on, and Nathan was just on recently. I don't know when this is. I mean, yeah, it'll be out now. where we talked about Ernest for a long time. You can cut all that
And then Batman.
mumbling out. And Batman, yeah. And
Nathan doesn't cut out anything.
Yeah.
yeah,
I cut the.
He's gonna add stuff in.
Yeah.
He's gonna remix
I'm
it.
just.
He's gonna
I'm gonna
add
slow it
something.
down.
Yeah, slow down, my fake slow down too. Yeah, you can just find the podcast wherever you find podcasts. And I hope You Suffer will be on an episode in April, because I will be doing that tomorrow. So check that out for the month of 420.
It's gonna get real stupid.
Laser.
That was terrible, Katie.
Oh, did you not tell her?
Yeah. Katie, don't ever yell blaze it.
Okay. I think I got it out of my system.
Yeah, go listen to Dylan's podcast. We've been on them a bunch of times. Like Katie did one on Jurassic Park. Kit and I were on Diary of Doom for Bong Ripper, but mostly shit talking Danzig.
Hell yeah.
Caitlin and I were on one about, I don't know, something about New Jersey and Ohio.
We were just shooting the
Yeah.
shit, so.
Kit did Tremors.
Oh heck yeah.
Yep.
Kit was talk about Kevin Bacon.
Did you see that him in the commercial? I think, I
Yes.
forget what it was for.
Yeah.
Where he
I thought
just
it was
like,
gonna be- I thought it was gonna be more substantial than that, but Bert just stood there for 10 seconds looking ornery.
it's because
Well,
Michael
Kevin
Gross
Bacon.
he can't go film all of his zero budget movies that he's making to like have income now. So he's like, sure, why the hell not? I'll do something with a vague sense of integrity behind it.
Was,
Visible, the phone service.
was there at least an ass blaster in the commercial?
No.
No.
They should have just like put in like a sprite
Kevin
of
Bacon.
one.
Kevin. Oh,
Plot twist. The worms turn into Kevin Bacon.
I wish Kevin Bacon's nickname was Ass Blaster so bad now.
Maybe it is.
That's what I'm.
You
If
just
I
made it
if I
so.
ever see him, I'm gonna be like, "What's up, Ass Blaster?" and then just get the shit kicked out of me.
No, dude, I'm gonna ask his wife. I'm gonna be like, yo, Kira, how's Ass Blaster doing? And she's gonna be like,
Excuse me, and mace
like,
you.
I'm calling the cops.
Yeah.
Kevin the Ass Blaster Bacon.
Uh,
It's his octagon name.
those things weren't in his movie, right? That was like following.
No, that was
Yeah,
the
that was
third
in
one.
3.
Yeah, that checks out. He's gonna be like, "I did not see any of those movies. Don't talk to me.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
was making
What?
Hollow Man."
Oh, Hollow Man.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I hope you suffer Guerrilla Radio.
Bummer. I hope you zebra, but me.
Yeah,
Or
Katie.
you should definitely use the Zebraman song as the closing credits if you can, or as the closing music if you can find it.
I'm gonna. Oh, I wasn't recording, Katie. I'm gonna have to have you sing Zebraman, but as Spider-Man again. I'll make my own version.
What? Kit just did it.
Stop in the